Hello, my name is Sarah Mitzi. I am standing in front of the BBC Television Centre in White City, Wydney. Today, I will be making this video about what it's like to be a journalist. For those who don't know, a journalist is someone who writes news articles to be published for newspapers and magazines, or to be broadcasted for radio and television. The journalists that I look up to are the British journalist Fiona Bruce and the Palestinian-American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, who sadly passed whilst reporting in the city of Jenin last year. Journalists that I am familiar of are Krishnan Guru Murphy and Jon Snow from Channel 4, as well as Anderson Cooper from CNN. My research and findings will be based around what it's like to be a journalist within the US, and also from the things that people are doing to change the narrative around, especially for black people and black females. The three questions within being a journalist that I am curious of are: 1, what diversity is like between journalists; 2, why is there a lack of black females and black journalists in general; and 3, if people really do in fact watch the news nowadays, and if so, how many. Look! Wow!
My first question: what is diversity like between journalists? Diversity is an important factor in any workplace. Ideas can flow around, and it gives a chance for people to be creative, come out of their comfort zone. One report of diversity between American journalists that I found was taken last year by Jeffrey Gottfried, Amy Mitchell, Mark Jerkowitz, and Jacob Leet, and they got responses from almost 12,000 journalists about what diversity is like within the workplace. Experts say that diversity can have a large impact on the quality of journalism, as a wider range of stories and opinions can come out. The survey asked journalists if their organizations or organization, if they worked in more than one, had enough employee diversity within these categories: gender, age and sexual orientation, political ideology and socioeconomic status, and racial and ethnicity. For gender and age, 2/3 said that there was enough, compared to 19% who said there wasn't. 58% said there was diversity in terms of age, more than double of those who said there wasn't. However, lower marks were given elsewhere. When it came to sexual orientation, 43% said employers had enough diversity in that area, whilst 23% said there wasn't, and 31% saying they weren't sure. 1/3 said that there was diversity in terms of political ideology and socioeconomic status, and another 34% and 29% respectively were unsure whether their company had enough diversity in each category. This can mean that either they were unsure of how much diversity is enough, or it was not clearly stated. The most negative ratings were given in the area of racial and ethnic diversity. 52% said their company didn't have enough diversity compared to 32%. So as you can see, there is a clear mix of numbers here across the categories, especially in age and gender. Younger female journalists were more likely to say that there wasn't enough diversity in their company compared to their older male colleagues, and within the newsroom, a majority of women said that there was not enough diversity compared to men. I feel as though men clearly know that there is a diversity issue within the workplace, but they overlook it because at the end of the day, they are the ones who dominate possibly every industry known to man, especially the white men. White men are the ones who run the show here. And this now leads me on to my next question. Why is there a lack of black female journalists and black people in general? I want to say that there is a lack, but it's more of the fact that we are not appreciated enough compared to other races. Potential reasons as to why black women in particular tend to not stay at their workplace is because they could be doing the exact same job as a male counterpart and not be getting the full credit, as in the same payment or acknowledgement for their hard work. They may also feel as though they are not being listened to and their opinion is invalid. Whilst I was growing up, it was rare to see a black person present live news or have their own section within it. For example, Kay Burley on Sky News. Having to hear that also racism and discrimination are more factors leading to this lack of black people is unacceptable. However, despite this, 2 women named Lauren Williams and Akoto Ofori Atta started their own publication named Capital B that delivers hard news and investigative reporting for a black audience. It was largely funded by the Ford Foundation and the American Journalism Project. They started their work at a time when organizations are begging and really needing black people to join their newsrooms so that the diversity section is covered. But according to Lauren, that will only serve storytelling about black people and black issues for white people. Black people need to be the ones to tell the stories that black people face every day in America. That way, they can also give their opinion and it won't come across as though they don't understand. I think what they're doing is fantastic. First of all, they're black women and have their own business. And as well as this, they find journalists from well-established companies who feel as though they aren't getting their full potential and worth. One person that works at Capital B said that they would rather really do the work every day of their lives because they love their job than to be sat at a white institution and barely get it done because, let's say, they are not being motivated enough. Do people really listen and watch the news nowadays? And if so, how many? Ever since the world got hit with COVID-19 in early 2020, this was the main focus for news for the next 2.5 years. People were just listening to the same things over and over again, such as how many people got COVID, how many people died from COVID, in what places around the world had the most amount of COVID cases, and well, listening to that every day was really tiresome. Around that time was also when TikTok was the most popular app for many young people, not only in America but around the world. The main way in which reading habits changed in the US was through the way people accessed the news. Social media, according to a survey published by Morning Consult in February last year on Statista, was the most popular way of getting news for 18 to 34-year-olds in the US, with 45% saying they use it on a daily basis. Only a handful between that demographic read a newspaper. I've always dreamed of becoming a journalist. I've never thought about doing anything else besides that, so I shouldn't let the facts and stereotypes get in the way of my passion, as only more people my race and gender will join the industry in many years to come. And despite how angry and annoyed I am by these results that I've given you today, they will gradually change in time. However, I don't want to start my own publication, so I will need to work twice as hard if I'm going to have someone acknowledge me for my efforts, whether that be a man or woman. If I know that my hard work was worth it at the end of the day, that is all that should matter to me, no matter how many negative comments I get about my work. I would like to thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope this video gave you some insight into what being an American journalist is like, and also my opinions on the matter.